allegedly, it's official, it's finally done. The CFO of Jasmy, who also happens to be the CEO of Jangshin, has again officially joined a company in Japan called Remix Point. Now, Remix Point is publicly listed in Japan, and what does this mean for the future of Jasmy? I'll get into that in today's video, even though nothing I say is financial advice. It's just my personal perspective, and I am not telling anyone to do anything. But did you know again that Hiroshi Harada, the CFO of Jasmy, recently joined a company in Japan, and he's actually serving as the newly appointed director. People like to say, isn't this a bad thing though when it comes to Jasmy? But why? That's the question that I like to ask people. Why would this be a bad thing? Now, people like to say, well, if he's focused on three things at once, like for instance, Remix Point, let's say Jasmy, let's say Jangshin, they say, how can he really do much? Well, the thing is, I don't know if Jasmy really needs that much monitoring anyways. And he's only the CFO when it comes to Jasmy. He's not the CEO. And there's other people in the Jasmy team. Also, when it comes to Jangshin, it's a layer 2. It's an incubation project under Jasmy that's focused on AI. What's really going on there? I know I don't hear too much. So him joining Remix Point, if anything, I think it's a net positive for the future of Jasmy. The reason being is because Remix Point, they were the founder of an exchange in Japan called BitPoint. Now, BitPoint has been sold off by Remix Point, like Remix Point sold it to SBI Holdings quite a while back ago. But we got to think about this. BitPoint does list Jasmy. So if the founder of BitPoint, in terms of the company, like Remix Point, has someone like Hiroshi Harada, the CFO of Jasmy, joining their team, basically, why is that a bad thing? If anything, from this, I think it gives better exposure to what Jasmy is all about. I think also it has, this opportunity, in which case Hiroshi Harada could have better connections, better people to maybe, who knows, later on, collaborate with Jasmy. And I think this gives a better streamline and a better entry point for Jasmy to maybe do something pretty special with Remix Point moving forward. We don't know. Remix Point is really massive, by the way. Again, they are the founder of BitPoint, one of the biggest exchanges out there in Japan. And Jasmy happens to be listed on BitPoint. So we got to think about this. When it comes to this, it's not such a bad thing. Now, initially, everyone thought that Hiroshi Harada was going to be leaving Jasmy and Jangshin to join Remix Point. But that doesn't seem to be the case. He's still a part of all three, I guess, as of right now. He's still a part of Jasmy, still a part of Jangshin, and Remix Point, it's his newest venture. Is it necessarily a bad thing, though? Nah, not really. I mean, again, I don't know why it's so bad. People sometimes like to say, oh, this means Jasmy's cooked and all this. But let's take this into consideration. What do you think Hiroshi Harada can do to the price of Jasmy? I don't think he could do much, because let's just take a look at it. For instance, Bitcoin is at around 60 grand currently. So does that mean Hiroshi Harada played a role in that? Probably not, and of course not, right? How? It doesn't make any sense. If we take a look at it, let alone Jasmy, Jasmy's just being affected by a broader change in market sentiment. Bitcoin's having a pullback, Jasmy's having a pullback, Solana's having a pullback, BNB, Ethereum, Cardano's native token called ADA. A lot is having a pullback. It's not only just Jasmy. So when people like to say, oh, the CFO, joining Remix Point, this is what caused, Jasmy to go down. Well, not necessarily, I think, because it's not like it affected Jasmy in any sort of negative way. It's just that the overall market sentiment isn't so good. So we naturally see something like Jasmy become affected. It is what it is. I mean, it's just how the space is when it comes to this. But I don't necessarily mind, though, because if I take a look at Jasmy as of right now, it's ranked 122nd in the world in terms of market cap when it comes to this space, with almost 100,000 holders. And despite all that, I'm seeing a hypothetical dip here. Now, people like to say, well, is that a bad thing? Depends who you ask. If you ask Lee the captain, or should I say me, if you ask me, I don't mind the dip because I like the dip. That's the thing, right? I don't mind it. It's not something that makes me upset. It just doesn't. Because if I just take a look at it from a real life perspective, if I was a real estate developer, would I like something that is low or something that is high in terms of acquiring? Of course, I'd like it if it's low, right? It's only logical. If I walk inside a store, would I want a discount or no discount? I mean, if I like the item anyways, like for instance, my G-Shock watch that I got from Japan, the GW5000HS, that's the model name for the watch, you know, it wouldn't really matter, right, if there's a discount or not, but I would prefer a discount if possible. That's the thing. So if I take a look at this right here, if I see a dip, or should I say a discount, I have zero complaints. That's the thing. I have nothing to complain about if it comes to a dip. I get it. People like to say, wow, why though? But here's my rebuttal, my response, I should say. A market downturn typically isn't permanent. Like for instance, even Luna Classic found a bottom. So what, this can't? Come on. If Luna Classic can, why can't this find a bottom? That's just my mindset. Not to mention, I have never seen a permanent bear market ever when it comes to this space. Has there been bear markets when it comes to this space? Absolutely. Has there been market downturns? Of course. Has there been market downturns when it comes to gold, silver, the S&P 500? Of course. We've seen it historically. But I don't see one being permanent though. And I just haven't seen it here. The market could go down, but it could also recover. That's the thing. Things don't go up forever, but they don't go down forever either in some cases. And if I take a look at it, it may seem very negative, but if I take a look at Jasmy, did you know that the market cap just back in August of 2025 was around 925 million? So keep in mind, we're basically 4 times lower in terms of market cap when compared to August of 2025. Around 4 times. Now let's just let this sink in real quick. Ethereum is not 4 times lower than August of 2025. Neither is Bitcoin. Neither is BNB. That's the thing. I get it. Those projects out there, they're more established, bigger fan base. The community is really massive. But if the market recovers, okay, let's say they go back to where they once were in August of 2025. It's a little bit boring, at least personally for me. I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but let's just take this into consideration. Is August of 2025 a quote-unquote altcoin season? No. And yet still, Jasmy is around 4 times lower than a point in time, which was considered not even to be that good anyways when it comes to Jasmy to begin with. So Jasmy just going back to almost $1 billion in terms of market cap. I mean, again, right, we're around 4 times lower than that. And that's just back in August. It's not like I have to look back, many, many years ago. It's just back in August, so less than a year ago. I mean, wow, if it just goes back to there, I'm already, partying, I'm already dancing because, again, Bitcoin goes back to August of 2025. It's not even 3 times lower than that. But yeah, besides that point, when I take a look at Jasmy overall, it's still focused on data storage, and through Junction, that being focused on AI, that kind of gives more exposure when it comes to Jasmy. When it comes to that, there's also the Jasmy chain, and not to mention now the CFO of Jasmy is a part of Remix Point, which I think could only help Jasmy moving forward. So fundamentally, I don't feel like anything's broken when it comes to Jasmy. It's just the market isn't doing the best. But I don't mind waiting. I'm not in a hurry. What do I have to be in a hurry for? I'm patiently waiting, and I'm willing to wait. That's why I'm just dollar cost averaging around once a month. That's it. I'm not doing any more. I don't want to do any less. But that's it. I want to say thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a very nice day.